I'm a recent graduate of Northern Illinois University. I just got my Master's of Fine Arts degree in painting, and now I'm pursuing my career as a full time artist as well as teaching artist. I am the only artist I would say in my family. I would say I did get my creative side from my mother, who was also she wasn't like an oil painter or a visual artist per se, but she was or she is also very into like crafts. Like she's a very creative type of person. So I would say I got my artistic side from her. I would say that I identified as an artist from a very early age. I remember when I was young, probably like elementary school age or a little bit younger than that. I always loved to draw, and what I used to do was I would try to recreate images of celebrities from magazines and then sell get well I wasn't selling at the time, but giving them to different friends and family members, and everyone always loved it. So from an early age I knew not only did I like to draw and like to paint, but I like to draw people. And I loved the reason I'm so attracted to drawing people and painting people is I just love the human connection. I love the facial expressions, then all of the emotions you can get from a person's subtle expressions. So I always been into drawing people. So first of all, I'm constantly taking pictures of everyone, like with my cell phone. Because when I do paint, I paint from images that I've taken. So, whenever I see someone interesting, for example, like my little nephew or something sitting on the couch playing with his game, or, just friends or family, or even people, strangers, walking down the street, there's someone who looks interesting to me and that grabs my attention. I like to get that captured moment, so to take a picture of them that I'll later paint where they don't see me, so it's natural, and it's just like I said, that's just that captured moment of them, in the process of doing whatever they're doing, and then when I do start to painting, I usually print out a bunch of the images that I've taken pictures of. I'll go through it to see which ones I think are the most interesting. And then once I've decided on which image I'm going to paint, I usually work in series. So I try to think about like the entire series, which is usually about 10 paintings. I mean, my average size painting is usually around 36 by 36 inches or 36 by 48 inches, around that size. Those are usually like the smaller ones. I'll go up from there. Um, but once I, decide on the size of the painting, then I think about like what colors I want to do, and usually I'll work from what the subject is wearing, like maybe what type of clothes they're wearing, or any type of images or colors within the picture itself that I would want to include in the painting. Now I'm really focusing on having these paintings where the background is completely colored in, and in one color, and I do that because I like to have the focus just be on the subject, like without the background. And these striking the colors that I use in my paintings, I feel are like vibrant, striking colors. And the reason I do that is, one, I want to really capture the person's the viewer's attention, with these bold colors. And then also I'm very into color psychology and the way different colors relate to our different emotions and our behaviors and stuff like that. So I'm considering all of these different elements when I'm focusing on when I'm thinking about the colors and how I want the image to look. So once after I've made all of those decisions, then I really just jump into the painting. I also have to start off with a pencil drawing of it on the canvas, and then from there I just go for it. One thing I've noticed, I didn't even feel myself doing it. It was just so natural, but it came up during a painting class during my master's degree. Is how I start every painting. Once I have the drawing in, I start with a burnt orange color that I've created, and I use it as a wash, and I kind of wash the background in that burnt orange color and just like naturally let the paint flow down. And I do that because to stand in front of a blank white canvas, even though it has the charcoal drawing on there, but to still it's mainly just a blank canvas. It can be intimidating, and especially because you don't want to mess it up, or you need to get past all of these ideas of, oh, it has to be perfect. So I just I started with this burnt orange color, and I just put it on the canvas, and now that the canvas is stained, I have to finish painting it, and that's how I also start my paintings. So once I do that, once the painting is started, I just start to implement all of the different decisions I made. It the colors, how I want. I try not to be so focused on how the person or the image is gonna come out, and just really try to be free flowing. Like have a plan, but also try to make it free flowing and energetic, with my brush strokes. And I like to incorporate in all my paintings not only, just the bright colors, the vibrant colors, and the subject itself, but I really like to bring the palette knife in. I mostly work from a brush, but I often bring in the palette knife to get these very thick impasto moments within the painting. And I do that because I'm an oil painter. And to me, the beauty and the intrinsic value of oil paint is that thickness that you get from it. And that's how I feel. Like I want to be able to feel that paint. Like I want it to come off of the canvas in a way. And just be thick and bold, and I feel like that's the beauty of oil paint, and that's the way I'm gonna treat it. How I'm gonna treat this painting as an oil painting. So my most recent works of art that I've been doing have been focused on the beauty in just being. That's a phrase that I've used several times before, and I think about like all the stereotypes and everything that's been placed on black bodies and as far as in society and the media and everything. In an interview by one of my favorite artists, Amy Sherrill, and she talked about how black bodies and black people are just political beings, and I do agree with that. I do feel how a lot of times in society, in the media and everything, you see a black person, especially if you see a black person in the paintings or artwork. It's always that thought of, okay, what type of political message is going on here? What's the stereotype? What's happening? But I say that I want my paintings to be focused on those moments, but in between all the political aspects of it, because black people are not always political. Just like everyone, we're beings. There's power in just being who you are, and not having all of these different stereotypes or ideas placed upon you by the people. So like for instance, some of the paintings um that is in this show at Freeport, I called the series "Who Do You See?" And I'm talking about, who do you see when you see these people? Are they this political being, or are they people? And for the series, actually, the exhibition at Freeport is actually a mix of different paintings that I have. The Who Do You See? I originally created that series for my graduating thesis, and at NIU I just graduated from this past June. But it also consists of some paintings that I had in there from a series that I call Color Faces. And with that, like for instance, some of the paintings, like Paint Me Purple Yellow Belly is one of them, as well as Is It Anger or Is It Jealousy? And for there, a lot of the times, like I'm painting myself, or I'm painting friends and family with strangers. And I was thinking about, like what was going on in the media. And, there's several, um, like large companies like Gucci and Prada who kept using blackface imagery, and like the Sambo imagery of like a black person with really red lips, the stereotype, and were using it on their products. But once they were called out for doing that, they would say, "Oh, we're sorry, we didn't mean to cause offense," but it just kept happening. So with these paintings, I was like, well, if you're gonna continue to use that imagery, then let me kind of take control of it. So using like the color psychologies and idioms, I tried to like reverse the meaning of it. So I painted myself in the same, like for one of the paintings, Paint Me Purple Yellow Belly. I painted myself with white, with that same mask that they use for a symbol, but I painted it yellow and purple. Purple representing the color represents royalty. Now focusing on as far as like color meanings, the phrase and, again, yellow, using an idiom and talking about how yellow belly black people are so I said calling the person the power and just being, so kind of like still taking the stereotype that they use on black people, but not to do list to say, okay, let me show you what colors to use. If you're gonna 6 feet tall, 6 feet by 3 feet, and it consists of a image that I took of this boy who's holding this sign. His original sign said BLM because I took an image of him during one of the Black Lives Matter protests during the summer of 2020. And but I was thinking about, again, also refer back of what's going on in society and trying to, revert that image of, black people being also about being a political being. And I was thinking about some of the people who were some of the main names mentioned for during the BLM protests. And, thinking about like Breonna Taylor and of course George Floyd and just several, so many of them, to mention. But so on his sign is I changed BLM to the things that he's gonna be doing that day, his to do list, if you will, and like take a jog, ice cream and watch TV, and then on to bed. Now, while these are just everyday things that anyone would do, in a normal day, these are things that black people were doing and who were killed for it. Taking a jog, the young man who was jogging in Georgia and shot down by these neighbors, if you will, who were patrolling the neighborhood. And then ice cream and watch TV, the young man who was shot by the cop who went into his apartment thinking it was hers and shot him because she thought he was invading his own property. And then finally off the bed, Breonna Taylor, who was shot while sleeping. And it was, I'm thinking about, like all of these everyday mundane things that anyone would do, no matter their race, and how, black people were killed while doing those. So with to-do list, I want I'm trying to bring into attention how that every time you see a black person, it's not always it shouldn't be about that a stereotype of what they're doing, what could be going on there, anything. It's the power in being, and respecting the fact that that we are able to just do everyday mundane things. We're able to just live our lives and be who we are without having to we shouldn't without having to worry about any type of negativity or stereotype placed upon us. So I am beyond honored to be a part of the series that Freeport Art Museum is placing up, and I just really hope that everyone enjoyed my paintings as much as I did creating them. And thank you all so much.